Something that came to me while I was listening to that, it wasn't about water fountains then, and it isn't about statues today. They want us to talk about statues in history. Look at when those statues were put up. They weren't put up right after the Civil War. They were put up when there was movement and progress around racial justice, as a reminder that you should know your place. So we get into this discussion and caught up in, is it history? Are we erasing history? There are museums for that. There are books for that. It does not need to be on public property. It wasn't about water fountains then. It isn't about statues today. Up next, we have Reverend Everett Newton from the First Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church of Christ.
Good evening. You all have to forgive me because I am the fourth generation of a Baptist preacher. And when you are a Baptist preacher, you got to take a text because you want to base what you're going to say on what God's word says. Some years ago, my father taught me that Jesus made this wonderful statement. He was asked, what's the first commandment? And he talked about Israel. But he said something very important. He said, love thy neighbor as thyself. And I have some new neighbors. My neighbors aren't all Americans. Matter of fact, they aren't all Native Americans. My neighbors are Jewish. My neighbors are those who consider themselves LGBTQ. Those are my neighbors. My neighbors are individuals that do not look like me. My neighbors aren't all Christian. My neighbors are Jewish. They're Muslim. Matter of fact, some of them care about me. And Jesus went on to say that I should treat my neighbor as I want to be treated. Amen. And because of that, I want to treat all of my neighbors correctly with love. And if I cannot treat them with love, then God will hold me accountable. And there are a whole lot of things that God's going to hold me accountable, but I don't want to be held accountable for not loving. And if I fail to love, what kind of believer, what kind of spiritual person am I? So this evening, if we are believers in what God has called us to be, lovers of not just thyself, but of everybody, then we cannot hate anyone. Do I have a witness here? There is no way that we can live in this country and hate people who do not look like us. We cannot live in this country and say that because you are a Native American, because you are a Muslim, because you are from Iran or Iraq or from some country that does not speak English, that I should treat you poorly. So therefore, I charge all of you this evening to go back to where you are and find out who your neighbors are. Your neighbors may not be heterosexual. They may be homosexual, and they might have two daddies and two mamas in their household, but you cannot treat them poorly. And if you do treat them poorly, God will hold you accountable. So Rockland County, I speak to you. All lives should matter, but guess what? They don't. That's why I believe in the Black Lives Matter. That's why I believe that if we treat people poorly, God will hold us accountable. One of the problems in this country is that we want everyone to be the same. Guess what? If that were true, then all of us would be good looking like Joe Coe.
Can we get a witness?
Joe has lost weight. He's exercised. You see him on Facebook. He's doing all of these things to improve himself. But just like he's trying to improve himself, America ought to be able to improve itself. We ought to also be working out to love one another, working out to treat people with respect and not disrespect. And if we allow this current individual who is having rallies in places that he should keep his mouth closed, who's trying to build a base of hatred, trying to build a base of extreme hatred, and we sit here and don't say anything. That's why I'm calling for all of us to have days where we meet once a week Even if we've got to meet here and build large crowds, let America know that in Rockland County, we are not all racist. In Rockland County, we do not support Nazism. In Rockland County, we do not support hatred of any kind. It's time for us to be morally correct. And the only way to be morally correct is we learn to love thy neighbor as thyself. And if you love yourself, you'll treat your neighbor as you treat yourself, with love, with care, and respect. Disrespect must be something that we eradicate in our world. Thank you very much.